So, welcome, Masters. We'll be talking about chakras, part 2. We'll try to understand what chakra means, what is chakra meditation, how this understanding can really help us. So, in the last session, we went over some basics, what chakra is. We differentiated it from Kundalini because sometimes people think it is, or some people do use the term Kundalini or Kundalini Jagran, Kundalini meditation, those kind of things. So that's separate in the sense that that's not at least in this session we are talking about. Kundalini is something that one should only do with a, if possible, in person with a master who has a very good knowledge, who has capability to help you in case something does go wrong. Because if Kundalini gets activated, sometime it could be a lot more energetic than you can imagine. So it should always be with some great masters. Here, what we are talking about is basic understanding and how you can use this information to benefit yourself, whether it is your health, which could be mental, emotional, physical, it doesn't matter. The idea is how you can use this information to enhance your sadhana, your spiritual journey. So first thing first, we'll just go over one more time the chakra, the main chakra, the 7 chakras. And the reason we kind of depict here as the bottom 3 and the top 4, because, the bottom 3 chakras is the consumption zone, you can call it. Okay. And the top 4 is where the healing, or you can say, the creation starts. So the bottom one is where most of us, most of the time, spend our life. So it is very normal for most of us to live our entire life with the energy primarily, if I can call it, stuck in the first 3 chakras. So that means the usual, the shame, guilt, trauma, all those kind of things that happens in our human life. So idea is, how can we have the energy. How can we take this energy from the bottom 3 to the top 4? Now, that does not mean we make the bottom 3 0. That's never the intent, and that's not what we are talking about here. We are taking the balancing of the 7. That means if you have extra energy in the bottom 3 and you lack or less energy in the top 4, how can we take, or raise this energy? As you raise, as you optimize, or as you balance all these chakras, basically, you are enhancing your health. As we said, it could be mental, emotional, physical, all the above, whatever the case may be, because everybody's need is different, everybody's journey is different. So what happens here is that as we start working, our energy improves and these chakras start getting balanced. Now, what are chakras? To recap, chakra, like in the traffic, sometime you go, nowadays in North America also, you have a lot of, roundabouts. And roundabouts is where all the traffic is coming from 4 different directions or maybe more. And then, you are just going around, and then without stopping, you can go wherever you are going. So this way, the traffic flow is, you can say, smoother, better than if you have a set of lights, because set of lights means one direction traffic is going, the other direction traffic is blocked. But roundabout, you go one by one, but it's continuously flowing. Similarly, in our body, you may take it as section or an intersection where a lot of nerves comes and joins, or you understand it as nadis, right? This is where nadis are invisible path, but that's how the energy flows in our body. Wherever a lot of these energies are coming and kind of, uh, intersection where they're coming together, and that becomes a chakra. We will see that chakra, again, we can say the main chakras, major ones, then minor one or mini. But the top level view is that we have 7 main chakras in our body. If you go for Egyptian concept, they have one additional, they call it Ka. But whether you call it Chi, which is in Chinese concept, they call prana as Chi, we call it prana in Ayurveda and Indian context. And if you go to Egyptian one, you will hear the word Ka, which is actually the 8th one, which is about 16 inches above your head. So considering these 7, each one of them is related to one or the other gland in our body. And that's how biologically or scientifically it really impacts us. It's like, you have a government as a country, in the center, what we call, and then you have a province or a state. There is a state level government, and then there is a district level government, and then there could be a, much lower municipality and all those kind of things. So there are different level of management in a country, in a state, in a city, similarly in our body. So these 7 you can consider as state level, and then you do have further division, and that's where the mini micro chakras come into play. Now, if we really see what's really happening, so the numbering starts from the bottom, and the 7th, which is the crown chakra or Sahasrara, that is the top. So we start from the bottom, which is our first chakra, Muladhara. Then it comes Swadhisthana, then Manipur. These are the bottom 3, where all the consumption is happening. And then as we get to the 4th, which is Anahata. Anahata is your heart. Then come Vishuddhi, your throat. Then come Agya, which is your 3rd eye or pineal gland, what we call. And then Sahasrara, which is Sahasrara is your crown chakra. Now, why it is called a crown chakra? 7th, the top one. Because it is controlling pituitary gland. So its influence is on pituitary gland. That means pituitary gland, if it is not optimized, if it is not functioning well, as we work on this chakra, you get impact there. What is the importance of pituitary gland? Pituitary gland, if you ask any doctor, any medical student or a person, that is the gland which controls all other glands in our body. Pituitary gland is the master gland. So imagine if in our body, all the functions which automatically the body is doing, your temperature, your pressure, means blood pressure, and it's your pH, and it's all kind of things which the body is functioning, autonomous nervous system, what we call it. So the major impact of control is by different glands. So if pituitary is controlling all the glands, so you can imagine the importance of that. And no wonder thousands of years ago, our masters, our Rishi Munis and all, they have named it accordingly. Right after that comes our 3rd eye, and importance you may have heard or known. This is connection to the universe. This is like an antenna, the place where all the intention and your, whatever you want, this is where your communication does take place. This is where your intuition comes. So this is the 3rd eye, means pineal gland. As we come down, Vishuddha, where your throat, thyroid. Next is the heart or thymus. Thymus gland is again very critical, like lungs, heart, thymus. This is one area. Thymus, because your T cells, your immune system, so critical, because this is what is creating those, right? From the, in fact, you can say before birth and birth. So, and then comes the bottom 3, which is your Manipur, which is kind of linked to adrenal, Swadhisthana, digestive system, and Muladhara, sexual gland. Now, bottom 3, sometime when you read different literature, different texts, their area of influence could be mixed. Some will say, it is the area of the second one. Some will say it is the first chakra. So if you just take as three as a category, just put them together that, okay, this is what they are influencing, then at least that confusion goes. This confusion is not in the top four. It's very specific. But different literature will say, okay, is it number one or is it number two, which is dealing with sexual gland? Is it digestive is with the second, or, those kind of thing. But if you take it uh, as a collective bottom three, then there is no confusion. As far as their location is concerned, as we discussed in the previous one, your Muladhara is the bottom of the spine, and then come to your navel point. If you go 2 inches below your navel is Swadhisthana, 2 inches above the navel is Manipura. Those are your three. That's important. Location, if you can visualize, because rest is easy. Heart is number 4, throat is number 5. And then we will talk about, Agya and Sara again in some later slides, how to, specific location wise. But the bottom three you have to be clear about. Now, why chakras are so important, or where they get this influence? How do we know? Let's get into the science of it, which is the energy. As we said, chakra means, it is where all the nerves or, nadis are coming into play. So nadis means energy flow. So is this true? So let's see each chakra, if you really go, is depicted by a color. Color is not given by, now by any one of us for, again, thousands of years. And the color associated with each chakra, you can see that the bottom one is the red and the top one is violet. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And if you see the first alphabet, right, from the bottom, if you see, so it's V from violet, I from indigo, blue, B, and then G, Y, O, and R. This is the acronym. If you remember, when we were kids, we used to learn the rainbow spectrum, and we used to call it Vibgyor, Vibgyor. And the same pattern in rainbow and same pattern in our chakras. Is it a coincidence? No. Red color has the longest wavelength. And if it is the longest wavelength, means opposite comes the frequency, right? So if wavelength is bigger, frequency is the smallest. And hence the energy is the least of all the 7. Violet, which is representing crown chakra, has the smallest wavelength, hence the highest frequency and hence the highest energy. So again, not a coincidence that crown chakra is represented by violet, which has the highest energy. And that's what, our intention is to how to get balance all these chakras. Energy, you can represent in any form, whether frequency, wavelength, because it's a straight formula. But at least you can take 2 things from here. Same as the rainbow, you have the same order of the color representing the chakras, right? 7 colors of rainbow, 7 colors of these main chakras. And the highest energy is in the 7th chakra. And as we come down, representation of the color, that's the energy, not the energy, actual energy in the body, but you can see what it represents. So again, why we are talking about taking the energy from the bottom 3 to top 4? Because the bottom 3 is where the typical human element, your greed, your survival, all those elements comes into play. Your ego, everything which we, encounter day to day. Why did he did this to me? Or I will do this if he or she does this to me, and or I did this, I'm in guilt, all those kind of things. So when you are in a victimized mode, when you have a story about yourself, which is taking your energy away, means low esteem, low self-confidence, then obviously you are not living your life optimally, means you are not performing to the best level that you could. The moment we balance, the moment we come out of that zone, Now your energy goes up. Energy goes up means your consciousness improve. Consciousness improve means your aura, your whole reflection. When people look at you, they will see the difference. Why? Your body is now in a much higher level in terms of consciousness. And that means you will be happy, you will be blissful, much more than what you were before. And this is the main reason that we want to overcome this zone of bottom three. Then it will be easy for you to understand whatever is happening in your life, why it is happening. You will be finding it easier to let go, to forgive people, to move on, because you are out of the first three zone. Now, time to time you will have, but at least primarily you will be in a much better position of, again, forgiveness, gratitude, and all those things. So just to recap, as we were talking about those glands, that's the endocrine system that we have. Different glands producing different enzymes and hormones and all those things. And these are the messengers which goes in your body and tells different organs what to do. Otherwise, how does the body know what to do when? Someone has to come and say, hey, it's time for this. Hey, it's time for that. So each organ is associated with one or the other system. It could be immune system, digestive system. We have all kinds of different systems in our body. And each system has certain, supporting organs. So these glands are producing and pumping the hormones either directly or through the blood into different parts of the body. And hence, as we work on our chakras, the energy become more and more coherent. In simple terms, if the energy in the body is chaotic, going in different directions, that represent sickness, health issues. The moment energy becomes coherent, like going in the same direction, then that represent health. That means different systems in our body are listening and talking to each other. So imagine your city government does not listen to the state government doesn't listen to the main, your center. What will happen? There will be chaos. No one wants to listen to each other. One will say, I have a great idea, that will shut it down. And I don't believe in this. That means the development of the area, region, country will be less than optimum. Similarly in our body. But if they talk to each other, if everybody is in agreement, then you will be healthy, you will be happy. So there are two, which is pineal gland and pituitary. That's really critical to understand, because others, it's easy to visualize. We said bottom of the spine, easy. Navel point, everybody can see and feel. So 2 inches below or 2 inches above, that's easy. We know where our heart and lungs is located. We know throat, we know up to 5. 6 and 7 could be a little confusing. So let's look at the 6, which is pineal gland. Pineal gland is the size of the gland is very small. It's just size of like a grain of rice. Now the question is, where is it located? So it is not located right at your forehead. Sometimes people feel between your eyebrows right here. No, it's kind of middle of your head. So right in the center, little towards the back side. So if you see the red dot on the screen, that represents pineal gland. So it is in the middle, and you will see now that red dot, but it's towards the back of the spine going to your head. And that size of a rice, you can imagine how small it could be. It's a piezoelectric, it's a very special kind of gland which connects really like an antenna to the universe. So when you visualize this particular chakra, you can visualize right in the middle of your head. Now, where is pituitary, master gland? We say Sahasrara, which is the top of your head. Is it really the top of the head? So let's understand where exactly it is. Yes, the top part of the brain, which is called hypothalamus, right? And when we touch our head, we are touching hypothalamus because it is the top part of the brain. But if you see the thickness, it is the biggest part of the brain. You can have your brain identified as 19 different, areas. This is the top, the biggest one. However, the gland is on the bottom of this hypothalamus. It is connected to hypothalamus, but on the bottom. That means pretty much where in line with the pineal gland, middle of your head. So if you go through same, come to the bridge of the nose, just below your, when we say forehead, just 2 inches kind of, below. And you go through right in the middle, you will see this. And again, like a very small in size, but you can imagine it is controlling the entire body. So it is roughly ½ inch, in fact, below your pineal gland, and roughly 2 inches forward, means towards the front. Pineal is on the little on the back, this is little on the front, about somewhere in the middle, but kind of 2 inches forward. But when we visualize, if you visualize hypothalamus like the top, because it's easier, that's okay too. But the actual location is important so that when you're visualizing, you know where exactly it is. So once you understand this, then it's easy to visualize, because if you are just sitting and visualizing each chakra by chakra, it's important to know the location. So what happens here is that, why again these are so important, or chakras or energy, or how do we know? Because it is not that just the molecules, means enzymes, your hormones, and all those things, which is making all the key impact in our body. They do transmit the message, right? All these hormones are messengers. They go and say, okay, time for this, time for that. We have different systems. They should know what to do when, and they have to coordinate with different systems. But the main thing, of course, this is true. They are messengers. They will give the signal. But the critical thing is, each cell has its own energy, which we call as cell light. Light is nothing but reflection of energy. And remember, when you do meditation, and sometimes you may have heard the guided meditation, you visualize the white light and all that. So the light that here is, each cell has light, means each cell has the energy. And this is this energy which is making this cell function optimally. Each cell. Blood or nerve, right? They don't go to each and every cell. They go to an area, but not each and every cell. We have trillions of cells in our body. But how does each cell knows what to do? It is this light. It is this energy. The more coherent this energy in the cell, the more optimum the body will function. So when we are optimizing, balancing, working on chakras, we are in fact influencing each and every part of our body, each and every system, each and every organ, each every tissue or cells, all the way up to cell level. So that's how you connect with your, when we say your true self, your inner self, your soul, because you are connecting to your energy. The more we get into, negativity or yelling or angry or overreacting, overanalyzing, all those kind of things, gossiping and other thing, we are actually draining our energy. The more energy you drain, the further you go from your health. That means towards sickness, ill, whatever the health issues and other you may get. So when you do meditation, you should be imagining all this energy. You should be blessing your different organ systems, so energy, so that it works optimally. Energy is expression of life. less energy, or incoherent energy means you're going away from your life, which means away from your blissfulness, happiness. Now, we have talked about all this, but still the question may come, okay, how do I do if you have to do chakra meditation? So what I have for you here is, it's a very simple uh, kind of a structure, a table. It has worked for me. Hopefully, it will help you too, because it's easy to do anything, but if you understand it properly, and whenever we talk about meditation or this thing, see, affirmation is great, but affirmation with visualization is the best. Why? Because it impacts your body instantly. It helps you, making it much easier, much more efficient for you to continue benefiting from that process. So what is this process is if you're working on your chakra meditation. So what you see is kind of a blank format you can use. Understand what are those chakras. If you want to go all the way up to 8th, which is Ka, certainly your call. If you want to stop at 7th, that is also perfect. So to visualize it, to improve or enhance the power of your effort, meditation, assign a symbol to each of these. Understand what's the name, the numbering, influence, what does it do, and then you have to assign a symbol. In the next slide, we'll see an example. Symbol could be any, does not matter. If you say my 7th, which is pituitary gland, crown, I want to assign a pencil. Assign the symbol of pencil. You want to assign a symbol of anything like a tree or like a fruit or like whatever. There is no right or wrong. Whatever in your case relate to that. So we go through the symbols. Then you should have a very clear intention. What is it that you are relating it to that particular chakra? 10 different people may be working on, say, heart, and 10 people may have a different intention for your heart. It could be health issue, it could be emotional, physical, whatever. So you put only your intention. Don't worry what your friend and other family members say or not. You don't have to share. You can share, doesn't matter, but it's not copy paste. And then assign an elevated emotion to that. Which elevated emotion? Whatever works for you for that particular intention that you have. You understand the area of influence means as a first, and the additional comment on the right that, okay, this is what I'm trying to get. And it could be something different, doesn't matter. This is just as an example. So let's look at the example. So you may have, a lotus as a symbol for a pituitary gland. Fine. It could be a sunrise for you. Whatever you can connect, whatever comes in your mind which reflect that particular thing. Your intention for, as an example, in this case, could be harmony, could be balance. Elevated emotion could be forgiveness, feeling whole, as a person. And your intention is you want to improve the harmony, the order means just balance. You want to feel bliss in case of heart, 4th chakra. You may have a symbol, anything, like heart with wings. You may have a smiley face. You may have a flowered blossoming, anything. Whatever in your mind, when you close your eyes and say, okay, how do I define blissfulness? I want to feel bliss. What it means to me. If to you, lotus means blissfulness, put lotus as 4, right? Someone may put lotus as 7, you may put 4. There's no right or wrong. For you, what matters is what you should have. You want to work on your empowerment, your courage. You're focusing on chakra number 3. You want to work on your adrenal glands. Uh, empowerment means what? Totally up to you. Whether you say empower means like I'm like a Superman or like a light bulb, whatever symbol. So what happens is choose one symbol. You don't have to choose multiple. These are just example. So one symbol for one chakra. So when you're doing your meditation, you don't have to go and read and words and all that. The moment you think of that symbol, the brain knows that this is your intention, this is what you want, and immediately your energies will be all towards that. Just like when you're driving on the street, you see a red light, it means stop. Green is to go. Your brain instantly tells you that this is what it is, because you have learned at the beginning when you are learning how to drive. Nobody writes in words, green means this, red means this. No, red means this, green means. There are symbols. That's the power of symbols. Later on, whole life, you just see it and boom, there you go. I will share this Excel file in the group so you can, as an example, if you want to go through it or you want to create your own, feel free to use it. It's just a tool, work for me. I hope it will help you as well. Now, there could be a question about, okay, we are talking about 7 chakras, but there are many more. Absolutely, there are many more. These are major chakras. Then there are minor, mini. So 7, we talked about major. There are minor, there are minis. Total comes 114. If you add up the 21 minor or 86 mini and the 7 major. But out of these 114, 2 are outside the body. So let's take them out from our calculation. So 112. Out of 112, 4 chakras you don't have to worry about. If you work on the remaining, these 4 automatically, get one, buy one, get one free offer is one of those kind of things. You work on 108, the 4 comes automatically. Hence, the real one where you can work and influence is 108. Some of you, if you recall our one of the session, we talked about the number 108, why it is so important, sacred, and the connectivity to the universe and whatnot. So again, we come one more thing which comes as 108. Now, where exactly these minor or mini chakras are, my recommendation is don't worry. And the reason of saying that is, if you can just work on the 7, that itself is, a good achievement. Don't worry about getting and making it way too complicated than necessary. These 21, which is minor, distributed all over the body, right? And don't think that I have to activate all 108, right? You don't. As I was talking about the government, you have the main and the state and the city, municipality and all that thing. They're all linked together. You are working on your main, you are influencing the others as well. Typically, like if you have 21 out of these, you are good. Your health, everything, you'll be doing fantastic in this life. Yes, if you are working and then you get into more, then yes, your consciousness or your energy level goes up. As you get more and more, right, you get to the level where you have all 108 active. Wow, now you are divinity yourself, moksha, right? So don't worry whether I have 63, 66, 64, or 84, or 90. Don't worry about all that. Just work. If you are doing this, if you are visualizing and working very simple chakra meditation, I can only tell you, guaranteed it is optimizing, means balancing them. How to know? Yes, there are instruments. I particularly use BioWell. It can measure the energies in the chakra. It tells you. But even if you feel your meditation is not optimum, you are having lots of thoughts, you don't know whether your meditation is good or how good, don't worry. It is the moment you close your eyes and sit in meditation, it is more than zero. That means it is having some positive impact. And as we do meditation, even if you don't do this chakra meditation, don't even talk about chakra, you are just doing simple anapanasati meditation, your chakras are getting balanced. So don't think you have to do this in order to get balance. When you do meditation, it's automatically working on it. Yeah, you must have heard many times from me, from many others, that your energy is where your focus is. So if when we do this, we are focusing on one by one, yes, of course, you are kind of going directly there. So you can have certain balancing and all much quicker. If you know certain weakness in certain areas and you think that particular area or chakra needs to be balanced or whatever, if we do this, you are activating it much quicker. So these chakras are distributed all over, right from your toes, you come to your, knees, ankle, hips, your, again, in the shoulder, elbow, all the fingertips, they're all mini chakras. Then, eyes, nose, face, and other things. So there are different points which represent these mini and minor. At this stage, don't worry too much about it. Just visualize these 7 you are going over. And if you really want to do, if you are good with 7, you want to do, then you can start from, these joints or these mini ones. But even if you don't, just work on the 7, that will be good enough. But yes, they are distributed all over the body. And as you're visualizing, you will kind of get to all of them. So to make it simple, to make it more efficient, this is one thing which has worked for me. And that's what I want to share with you all, masters. So if you have any question, we'll take it now.